Good evening, I'm Danielle Stobb.
And I'm Claire Chartrand. Here's what's coming up on PantherVision.
Bucky and Bo take a trip to Jerry's World. We'll tell you how it went.
UWM may need a Band-Aid.
Stop the bleeding.
We'll tell you why.
You'll never guess which stars stopped by UWM last week. We'll show you.
And UWM takes on the Brewers.
I'm skipping class today. Why wouldn't you?
Kind of, anyway. All that and more next on UWM PantherVision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UWM PantherVision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
Good evening. In just seconds, hope turns to sadness on State Street.
The Wisconsin Badgers game came within 6 seconds of making it to the national championship game. The Badgers led for much of their Final Four game against Kentucky, but with 5.7 seconds left, Kentucky hit a 3-point shot to take the lead by 1. After 2 timeouts, the Badgers had one last chance, but when Trayvon Jackson's shot missed at the buzzer, UW's tournament run was over. It was a hard-fought game that put Badger fans on an emotional roller coaster. Nowhere was that more evident than in Madison. PantherVision reporter Dariah Patterson takes us there.
Any other Saturday night, the Union would be empty. But not tonight. We're not in Egypt, but this Red Sea has parted and spilled over into every bar and pub to watch the big game, leaving the streets dry. Badger fans buckled up for the roller coaster ride and rode it through the highs and the lows, but in the end they tasted bitter defeat. Madison police blocked off State Street and went on foot to reinforce the floodgates and brace for the oncoming storm.
Aaron Harrison!
Instead of a victory dance, a mosh pit of drunken rage took over the streets. But even in the face of defeat, Scotty stayed loyal.
We deserve better than this. We are the best school ever.
And Wisconsin proud. In Madtown, Madison, I'm Dariah Patterson for PantherVision.
The crowd dispersed by about midnight and was, for the most part, orderly.
Madison police say they arrested about a dozen people. One was arrested after climbing on top of the scaffolding in a construction area. Police also stopped someone who tried to light a shirt on fire. Several people were hit on cans or other items, and at least one person was injured. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin was downtown briefly after watching the game at home. He says both the crowd and the police handled the situation well.
UWM should have an interim chancellor very soon. As we told you last week, Chancellor Michael Lovell is leaving to become the new president at Marquette. UW System President Ray Cross told PantherVision that he hopes to name an interim chancellor within the next 2 weeks. He also told us the request to put together a search and screen committee will be made shortly, and he hopes the committee will begin its work before the end of the semester. Cross says the goal will be to name a new chancellor by the end of the year.
Chancellor Lovell leaving UWM has come as a shock to many, but as I found out, the bigger question people are asking is how will it affect the students? Physics, calculus, and chemistry, oh my. These classes are the yellow brick road to a UWM degree in engineering.
My focus is going to be towards circuits and power components and the generation of power and the control of it.
Before Michael Lovell was UWM's chancellor, he was an engineering professor and the department's dean. But now he's leaving the department and UWM for Marquette. Niemer says Lovell helped create an engineering partnership.
And I know he has strong ties with Johnson Controls and helped get that partnership set up, which is a huge deal because they're a huge industry for engineering around here.
Brian Larson is a Chancellor Scholar studying engineering. He says Level established engineering ties that helped all majors.
And not just engineering students. Those companies, they see that the engineers are doing so well, and then like, okay, we need accounting interns, we need marketing interns, we need graphic designers.
So with Level at Marquette, what's left for engineering at UWM?
Several people have asked about how Chancellor moving to Marquette might affect things, and we already have good collaborations with Marquette in several areas.
At the end of the yellow brick road, engineering students can rest their minds because it seems as if the magic behind the curtain is Milwaukee, not Level.
I think having several strong universities in this area to kind of supply what's really strong demand from industry for engineers is really valuable.
In Milwaukee, I'm Danielle Stobb for PantherVision. Level is wasting no time introducing himself to Marquette students and faculty.
In a campus-wide email, Level says he's looking forward to strengthening Marquette's community relationships. And he says the plan to work closely with faculty to enhance Marquette's reputation as a research institution. Level also discussed the importance of building the right team to foster innovation. Level hasn't even started at Marquette, but he already has a controversy to deal with. A Christian social justice group is criticizing Marquette for honoring Wisconsin Republican Paul Ryan. Faithful America says Marquette shouldn't be honoring the former vice presidential candidate because his proposed budget slashes support to the poor. The group has started an online petition demanding the university donate proceeds from the event to the poor.
And Level is still dealing with a controversy at UWM. The group, Alliance of Students Achieving Progress, better known as ASAP, continues to raise questions about the administrative's involvement, student government. PantherVision's Ann Matusi reports.
ASAP bade Chancellor Level a not-so-fond farewell one day after it was announced that he was leaving for Marquette. They are up in arms over the new constitution that only a handful of students voted on. All the while, the purported Independent Election Commission sent an email to the student body saying to vote yes.
So we wrote a letter to the Chancellor to let him know our intentions to organize ourselves. We also pointed out things that we felt were not fair in how they pushed through that constitution that they wrote.
The letter claims that students at UWM are without a legitimate voice in their institution. While ASAP is upset over last year's elections, the controversy behind it all is that the students were running unopposed because a technicality was used to remove the other candidates off the ballot. Taylor Scott feels that Level undervalues the student governance.
And I feel like a lot of them feel like they've been disenfranchised or they feel kind of really disillusioned and disconnected from the future of the university.
Level sent an email in response to their letter, but ASAP seems to think that the email is too short and off point.
He kind of wrote something that implied we were trying to sabotage the current students. I don't want to actually really be in student government. I just want to make sure that all of us are in the know and have a fair chance to participate.
We would argue they're not student association elections. These aren't.
So what does this mean for this year's essay elections?
I don't know. But again, we just don't think that the process by which this student association election is being held is the correct process.
With Level leaving for Marquette, the fate of UWM student politics remains in question. In Milwaukee for PantherVision, I'm Ann Matusi.
With the elections just a week away, the presidential candidates are making their final push.
As PantherVision's Andrea Romero reports, they squared off in a town hall-style debate.
With nominations around the corner, the Student Association presidential candidates met for one last debate in the Union Ballroom in front of roughly 50 spectators.
It went really well. I think a lot of the candidates are excellent. I think that they definitely foresee a great future for the university and have a lot of great plans for the students. So.
The fresh-faced student politicians had a relatively quiet night answering questions from the student crowd.
Our leaders, I think whoever gets into office, has the right mentality and right morals for how to effectively perform their responsibilities as student association president.
Topics such as time management and student parking stood out as some of the more noteworthy points.
Parking is an issue for me every morning. Yeah, I no longer commute, but as a commuter in the past, same thing, definitely parking issues.
The big question of the night came towards the end when asked how they would prevent corruption and favoritism within the SA. Young took more of a controlled approach.
that I have made sure that we're reviewing 20, 30-page documents to make sure that there aren't any loopholes, make sure that it's tight grip, that it doesn't give one person or a minority of individuals of our student government an opportunity to exploit.
While Sorensen and Dresden touched on the issue of student senate compensation.
I think making sure students have a real job holds them more accountable, and so that they're not just sitting by idly collecting a paycheck.
The thing that I'm all about is removing the compensation, for students on campus, because we are, we still are an organization on campus. We're still students, and it's our job to serve you, not to collect a paycheck.
With the polls opening April 15th, the candidates are now in the heat of the final stages of their campaigns.
But not only campaigning, but also at the same time asking, hey, is there anything you'd like to see different on campus? Is there any improvements you'd like to see?
In Milwaukee, I'm Andrea Romero for PantherVision.
You can learn more about the candidates by checking out the bios on the Student Association website.
A search and screen committee has been appointed to find the next chancellor for UW-Oshkosh. The committee has 21 members and will be chaired by a professor in the College of Business, Management, and Human Resources. The committee will recommend no fewer than 5 candidates to the UW system president. Current Oshkosh Chancellor Richard Wells will be retiring in August.
The UW system has a new leader of university relations. James Villa was hired after a national search and will begin his new position in May. He is currently the president and chief executive officer of the Commercial Association of Realtors. Villa has a bachelor's degree in political science from Marquette.
With another mass shooting at Fort Hood this past week, the spotlight is once again on active shooter preparedness. As a result of our year-long investigation, a campus working group is looking into whether changes should be made at UWM. They might find some answers 3 hours down the road. Tonight, PantherVision's Jenna McGlin takes us to a campus where the unthinkable did happen.
6 years ago on Valentine's Day, an armed man walked into a PIT class at Cole Hall where he proceeded to open fire on the students.
It was quite a few students, looked very unusual, so I stopped one of them and said, something going on? And the student said, yeah, there's been a shooting.
6 fatalities and 21 injuries make the active shooter incident at Northern Illinois University the 5th deadliest university shooting in United States history.
I'm not sure that anybody is fully prepared.
Associate Dean Jeffrey Hecht was on campus that day.
We herded the students that had showed up for the various classes into the center part of the field house, and we split up the entrances. I took one entrance, the karate instructor took another entrance, our ROTC took another entrance, and we said, well, we'll try and keep people from coming into the field house that we don't know, and hopefully that'll be okay.
Prior to the incident, NIU didn't have a set plan in case of an active shooter situation.
At that point, we had really never talked about as a campus active shooter incidents. We had not dealt with this sort of an issue. I don't think many campuses had. So we were kind of left on our own.
Since then, the school has made changes.
We have more locks on some of the doors. We have improved, I think, communication around campus. The university is much better at getting out campus-wide alerts. They send them out via text, via email, via our web page. We have campus siren. A number of our buildings have PA systems.
And now they are doing a better job at preparing students and faculty.
This was put together essentially as a guidebook to cover everything from severe weather to shooting incidents, suspicious packages, whatever might occur. It has now been the practice of the university. Every year they update this. Every faculty, staff, and students get one of these.
Some of the same techniques are being utilized on the UWM campus.
If you can flee, do that, get away. If you can't, hide. If you can't flee, you can't hide, then you fight.
It took a real-life incident on their campus to make active shooter safety a priority. Luckily, officials are working to better prepare UWM before a similar incident occurs.
Awareness is the key.
In DeKalb, Illinois, I'm Jenna McGlin for PantherVision.
While many changes have been made on campus, NIU still has an opt-in text alert system rather than opt-out.
With UWM enrollment down 6,000 in the past 4 years, administrators are working to spark interest in potential students. Officials have scheduled 2 more Meet Milwaukee days. Meet Milwaukee is designed for potential students and parents to explore the different opportunities UWM offers. The next event is scheduled for May 2nd.
UWM is looking at other recruitment efforts as well, from data analysis to individual campus tours. PantherVision's John Holman went on one tour where he spoke to prospective students and their parents.
High school students who plan to attend college next year are taking steps to choose their best option. Universities are competing to win over future college goers. As UWM's enrollment is in question, one thing is clear for the future.
What our big goal right now is to really, what I refer to as stop the bleeding.
But there are fewer students to fight over, according to UWM's findings.
There are fewer high school students graduating in Wisconsin. So maybe the graduation rates aren't going down, but the general population of high school students is going down.
Troyer also says that many high school students simply aren't aware of the UWM campus on the city's east side. But one student on the campus tour begs to differ.
I wanted to get out of a small city into a bigger city, and I had a friend that went here and he just told me he liked it, and a lot of people knew about UWM and they said it was a great school.
He says he'll definitely be a Panther next year, but not all future college students are decisive. Another tour attendee says she's still looking.
I want to make sure I go to somewhere that will put me in the best position possible for getting into a career.
Her father agrees that one factor rules above all.
A parent always wants success for their daughter, son, or daughter. I mean, but it's the program.
Troyer says UWM is now recruiting on a regional and national level, with recruiters all around the United States. But only time will tell if UWM can stop the bleeding. In Milwaukee, I'm John Holman for PantherVision.
Coming up, missing tests and skipping classes isn't a big deal for these devoted fans.
And later, we will show you where UWM students were stuffing dollar bills.
You ready again?
Let's go do this.
At MATC, we award lots of degrees, but not everyone makes it to our big ceremony.
Samantha, I own lamb.
Thanks to the hands-on training they receive from industry experts, many of our grads are already hard at work. But that's okay. They end up with something even more rewarding than a diploma. A career. MATC. Redefine smart.
Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven terrain, barring any injuries, is 4 miles per hour. What I need from each and every one of you is a full target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Your fugitive has just cashed in his 401k plan, and all he had to do was roll it over.
Learn about rollovers and protecting your financial future, and choose to save.
You can't mess with the big dog.
It's that one day a year when many UWM students trade their books for beer and brats.
And as PantherVision's Lisa Aaron Brown reports, the tradition tempts students to skip class.
Warm weather and sun are two ways of knowing spring is right around the corner, but one sure way of knowing it's spring in Milwaukee is Brewers season.
The weekend may be over, but that doesn't stop UWM students from partying on.
I'm at opening day.
I'm skipping class today for opening day. Why wouldn't you?
While drinking brews and eating brats, some alumni totally understand what opening day means to students.
You know, I was never a big guy to skip out on class, but yeah, of course I come to opening day.
Some students were lucky enough to have no classes on opening day and say it's a student's choice to decide.
I think that it's their choice personally. I mean, they're paying the money, so if they want to skip, they can skip.
Some students have a plan.
I'm doing well in them, so I decided one day off is cool, and I talked to friends already about getting notes. Awesome. That I did.
The Brewers beat the Braves, adding one win in the bag. At Miller Park, for PantherVision, I'm Lisa Aaron Brown.
Attendance for opening day was 45,691.
Opening day must mean spring is right around the corner, and with the change in seasons comes some deadlines. If you are planning on graduating in May, the deadline to purchase caps and gowns for store pickup is April 11th. After that, you can still purchase them, but they'll be shipped to your home for an additional fee.
The deadline to register for graduation at MATC has already passed. So what happens to those who forgot to apply for graduation? David Kay has the answer in our MATC report.
With the spring semester drawing to a close, many students at MATC are winding down their educational journey. The May 21st commencement ceremony will be held this year at the US Cellular Arena, a block away from the downtown campus. However, there was a deadline to apply to graduate this spring.
I got it in at the last minute. I turned in my $10 fee on the day of. There wasn't a line. I don't know if they were busy or not, but when I went in there, it was in and out in about 5 minutes. One sheet of paper and a $10 fee to march for graduation.
Many students found the outreach of information about graduation lacking.
I'm not as diligent as checking my school email as I am about checking my personal email, and the announcement went out via student email but wasn't put out like through a rave alert or anything, so I only found out about it because a friend of mine said it on Facebook that you need to have all your registration stuff done by that Monday. So, yeah.
We reached out to Kathleen Hull, Communications and Events Director at MATC. While she was not able to appear on camera, she did say in a statement, if you do not apply for graduation, you cannot participate in the May 21st ceremony. If you complete the requisite credits, you still earn an associate degree or technical diploma. The effect of not completing an application relates to the graduation ceremony. So while some students may have missed the deadline, they can take comfort in the knowledge that they can still move forward to the next step in their career or educational journey. For PantherVision, I'm David Kay.
MATC's deadline to register for graduation was March 31st.
Shannon Razowitz joins us now with a look at our weather.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
What a fantastic weekend of weather we had. Hopefully you guys were able to get out and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. It looks like, good news is that the weather is going to be sticking around for us throughout the week, these mild temperatures, which is great because these spring temperatures are way overdue. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. As I said, we're going to have mild temperatures this week. April showers going to be moving in, and unfortunately we're going to have cloudy skies throughout the week. Let's take a look at our current conditions outside. They are pleasant and sunny. We are going to have increasing clouds though throughout the day. Current temperatures at 48 with a low or a dew point of 30 and a barometric pressure of 29.84. Our today's conditions are going to be cloudy later this afternoon. We're going to have showers moving in over the evening. Highs today should reach about 50, a low of 37. Again, showers moving in this evening with a precipitation chance of 30%. Let's take a look around the state at our temperatures. Lows throughout the state, hovering in the 30s. We've got about 30 degrees in Rhinelander, 36 up in Green Bay, as well as in La Crosse. Let's take a look at our highs throughout the state. As I mentioned, it's going to be mild throughout the day today, all over the state. We've got 50s. Pretty much throughout, and a high of 62 in La Crosse. That looks like that's going to be our high point for the day. Taking a look at our forecast for the remainder of the week. Tonight we've got showers developing, precipitation 30%. We're going to have a low of 37 with winds at 11 miles per hour. Tomorrow should be partly cloudy with a precipitation chance of 10%. High, again mild, 48. With a low of 30 and winds at 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, we're going to have a mostly sunny and dry day, high of 57. Going to be a great day. Low of 44. Winds are going to be mild again at 13 miles per hour. Let's take a look at our extended forecast for the remainder of the week. Again, we're going to have showers on Thursday, but 61. Partly cloudy on Friday and 57. And Saturday 57, Sunday 52, cloudy with showers. So we can probably put our heavy coats on a break for a little bit, but we're going to have to keep those umbrellas handy.
Thanks, Shannon. Looks like we finally have some of that great spring weather coming up. A program that prides itself on pushing the art and science of cooking is expanding. Ty Bergeron explains in tonight's MATC report.
The culinary programs at MATC have undergone some major changes that benefits the students,
as well as the public.
Pretzels ever.
3 additional labs were added this year, eliminating the popular program's waiting list.
With the labs moving to the first floor with the chocolate and the pastry labs and the cafe, we've doubled our enrollment on the first floor and in the program, and we've also given a lot more room to new labs on the 6th.
The labs and cafe provide students with a solid skill set.
Besides working on baking, we also learn how to run a restaurant, and we are trained on barista, cashier, and also sous chef as well, so that makes us more rounded for the restaurant field.
Students enjoy practical projects.
We've been teaching how to make pretzels in the program as one part of artisanal bread, but also as something that's very saleable in the area. Homemade pretzels are very easy to sell in Wisconsin.
And there's the new chocolate lab.
This is a continuous chocolate tempering machine. This machine provides us with tempered chocolate anytime we need it. And one of the great things we make with this chocolate is our wonderful chocolate truffles.
A win-win situation with more students in the culinary program and the public with easier access to incredible taste treats at very reasonable prices. For MATC Reports, I'm Ty Bergeron.
The move to the first floor of the main building gives the public a better opportunity to taste the work of the students.
Things were sweet for the Badgers all the way to the Final Four.
Up next, we'll have more highlights from the heartbreaking loss.
And we'll also catch up with a very fast runner. That and more when PantherVision continues.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
The end of the road.
And a fast runner gets some accolades.
Maria Corpus joins us now with sports. Maria?
Breaking. The Wisconsin-Kentucky Final Four game was a contest of big runs, and the biggest came at the start of the second half when Kentucky went on a 15-0 run to take what seemed like a commanding lead. But the Badgers clawed back, setting up a dramatic but heartbreaking finish. With the game tied at 71 and the Badgers a perfect 20 for 20 at the free throw line, Trayvon Jackson was fouled on a three-point attempt. He missed the first of 3 free throws but made the other 2. Then, with 5.7 seconds left, Kentucky hit a three-pointer to take the lead by 1. When Jackson's shot at the buzzer just missed, dreams of a national championship came to an end.
This is the point where he always hits it. Oh! Aaron Harrison is Trayvon Jackson. Driving in, jumper for the win. No! And Kentucky has done it again.
Badgers are trying to get to the national championship game for the first time in 73 years. They won the championship back in 1941. The UWM men's club volleyball team was also looking for a national championship this weekend. The team made its way to Reno, Nevada to compete in the National Division I Club Volleyball Championship. They entered the tournament as a #1 seed and made it to the gold round as one of the final 16 teams. They lost their game against UC Irvine, a #8 seed. UW Oshkosh beat UC Irvine in the final match and claimed the championship title. The women's volleyball spring season schedule is now set. The defending Horizon League champs will play in 3 tournaments. They'll square off against some stiff competition, including Michigan State, Northwestern, and Marquette. Men's soccer coach Chris Kelderman is in the running for State College Coach of the Year. ESPN Wisconsin announced the nominees of the 3rd Annual Wisconsin Sports Awards, and Kelderman is one of 5 coaches nominated. The second-year coach led the Panthers to the Horizon League Tournament Championship and the program's 9th NCAA appearance. Kelderman is not the only Panther in the award spotlight. PantherVision Scott Wise catches up with a runner who has no plans of slowing down anytime soon.
It's all fun and games for the UWM men's track and field team these days. The men's outdoor team has won an astounding 10 straight Horizon League track titles. Some may call that a dynasty, although not everyone likes to give it that title.
I don't like using that word.
Second-year assistant coach Eric Kramer feels the pressure of the program's history since being hired last year.
It's a little stressful coming into a program with that much success.
Helping relieve his stress is a sophomore standout.
Marcus has brought a lot to the team.
Marcus Johnson started his career off in blazing fashion, winning the 400-meter outdoor championship and running newcomer of the year as a freshman. But he has not let that success get to his head.
I'm not satisfied. I want to get better.
Johnson is staying on track this year. He was just named the runner of the week after he took the top spot in the 400-meter at the Cougar Classic.
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it to happen, and I didn't run as well as I wanted.
Johnson's success helps him lead the team, but so does something else.
I do sometimes have to physically pull him off the track.
That relentless work ethic is something his teammate Anthony Levy notices.
If you ever work out with him, you in for something. You better bring your all.
Johnson is ready to bring his all this year and has set high expectations.
To win outdoor conference this year, to win the 400, possibly even the 200.
Levy is poised the Panthers will bring home their 11th title in a row.
I'm very confident. Very confident. We got a great team.
In Milwaukee, I'm Scott Wise for PantherVision.
The men's baseball team's home winning streak now stands at 19. The Panthers swept 3 games from Oakland University over the weekend. The Panthers finally got to play at Henry Aaron Field, which has been covered with snow up until a few weeks ago. They've been practicing indoors all season. The Panthers' record now stands at 9-12. They're 4-2 in Horizon League play. That's it for sports. Back to you, Claire and Danielle.
The Project Q once again put on a colorful performance to raise funds for the LGBT youth and allies.
And the UWM community showed its support. Stephanie Staudinger has a story.
A storm is coming, but this storm is not weather-related by any means. This storm actually refers to Vivian's Storm and the drag queens and performers that took the stage to a sold-out crowd.
It's such a high-energy show. We know that it's gonna give us what we need as performers to get us up and get us ready and get us loving what we do.
This annual event was raising awareness about the LGBT community.
And I'm so happy that so many people can come and support it because we live in a world that there's not a lot of support.
And the hopes were as high as the heels that lots of tips would be made this night. But performers had no desire to personally keep the money.
To see the round of applause and the tipping going on from the community was just amazing.
All of the tips and donations, $1,250 worth to be exact, went directly towards Project Q.
You know, it's not just an LGBT youth event, but it's a community event. And when you have the community involved as a whole, it just benefits everybody.
This event shows that whether you sport sequins in a wig or jeans in a t-shirt, what really matters is joining together for a cause that celebrates who you are on the inside. In Milwaukee, I'm Stephanie Staudinger for PantherVision.
This was UWM's 13th annual drag show. And in order to get a spot in the audience, people began lining up around 2 hours before the show. Thank you for tuning in for tonight's edition of PantherVision.
You can watch us on Time Warner Channel 14 and AT&T Universe Channel 99 at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Have a great week.